They are the families of 4 people who must know by now, even if they have not been told officially. The families of 4 people who were on I-70 during rush hour last night and have not come home. The coroner has not officially identified the 4 people killed in yesterday's crash and fire, so those families have not received official confirmation of the worst. Today was spent removing the 24 cars and the 4 semis from that scene on I-70 at Denver West in Lakewood. The semi driver, accused of barreling into stopped traffic at high speed, is now in the Jeffco jail. He's from Texas, and he's expected to face vehicular homicide charges. With the vehicles now moved off of the interstate, CDOT can get to work repairing the eastbound lanes to reopen them to traffic. Westbound opened up this afternoon. Our Nelson Garcia is out there, and Nelson, looks like a few more hours before that stretch is safe for cars again.
Kyle, crews are working pretty efficiently out here. Actually, a few hours ago, there was a pile of burnt cars and debris just lined up waiting to be moved. Now, CDOT crews are in the repair stage of highway recovery. The fiery crash damaged about 250 feet of asphalt. Crews are digging down between 2 to 4 inches to clear out the burnt rock and oil that leaked from the 28 vehicles involved in the crash. CDOT plans to work through the night to get all the pavement replaced with hopes of reopening the highway fully by tomorrow morning. The fire yesterday did burn primarily east of the bridge instead of burning underneath the bridge. Now that's good news because CDOT engineers investigated the bridge, and if it had caused structural damage to the bridge, this section of I-70 could have been closed for a while. Instead, it looks like it's going to reopen tomorrow morning. Kyle.
All right, Nelson Garcia reporting for us. Thank you, Nelson. So investigators think that this semi-truck driver lost his brakes coming down the hill or had another mechanical issue, yet they believe that what 23-year-old Rogal Aguilera Medeiros did was a crime and not an accident. Vehicular homicide is the charge. 23-year-old from Houston, Texas is now in custody. Now, as for why they believe that it was a crime, all investigators will say is that that decision is based on witness interviews and evidence that they collected overnight. Now, we tend to think of homicide charges as being more serious than manslaughter charges. So today we asked our legal expert, Scott Robinson, why it's vehicular homicide in this case.
Colorado doesn't really have a vehicular manslaughter charge. We have manslaughter, which is recklessly causing the death of another, and we have vehicular homicide, which could include recklessly causing the death of another through your driving. Manslaughter is typically used in non-vehicle cases involving other types of reckless conduct. For example, cleaning a weapon in a reckless manner and killing someone. That could be reckless manslaughter.
So when we talk about vehicular homicide and reckless manslaughter, they're both Class 4 felonies in Colorado, so the law considers them to be equally serious. Scott Robinson noted that the suspect could also face additional vehicular assault charges related to the crash survivors. Our next question comes from Janine, and I know it's on the minds of many. She asks, when is CDOT, or whoever's in charge of this decision, going to put a runaway truck ramp or some other preventative measure on that part of I-70? Janine, right now, the last runaway truck ramp as you come down the hill on I-70 is just east of the Lookout Mountain exit. All that CDOT was willing to say today is that adding more ramps after that point is something that will be looked at as part of their investigation after this crash. Colorado's presidential primary is expected to move to Super Tuesday when more than a dozen states dole out their delegates. That decision, confirmed to us by the state Democratic Party this afternoon, will put Colorado in focus for that huge Democratic presidential primary field. Now, because unaffiliated voters in Colorado can pick one party primary or the other and vote by mail, you can expect that there will be early and pretty intense interest from presidential candidates who think that they can win with our particular mix of voters. Democratic Governor Jared Polis' spokeswoman, Lori Cipriano, is out about 100 days into the administration. The Polis team just offered one of those boilerplate statements about how Cipriano is a valued member of the team and they wish her the best. Cipriano previously worked for Democratic Senator Michael Bennet, and she worked here at 9 News from 2012 to 2015 before going into politics. Time to ask again, will Democratic State Senate President Leroy Garcia reimburse taxpayers for his $25,000 Facebook fine? What is it? Yes? No? No comment is the official response from his spokesman. Colorado taxpayers shelled out $25,000 to a constituent that Garcia blocked on Facebook because the guy dared criticize him. This is the 5th day now that we've tried to get an answer on whether or not Senate President Garcia is going to refund your money. If he thinks that we will stop asking just because he won't answer, he doesn't know how much free time we have. Colorado, you know I love you, but we are not getting this recycling thing right. So only certain parts of our state allow us to recycle styrofoam. And even where it is allowed, it has turned into such a cluster that some state legislators just want to straight up ban styrofoam takeout containers. Our Katie Eastman explains.
A casual stroll through a recycling plant makes one thing clear.
There was just a pancake on there.
People are either really lazy
A pancake!
or we don't know how to properly recycle.
There's nothing you can say that I haven't seen.
The one thing you can recycle here in Denver is styrofoam. Or, well,
It's foam packaging, so styrofoam is a term that everybody knows, but you're not really supposed to use.
styrofoam is actually a name brand and not the material. But we're just going to call it that for the sake of this story. And VP of Recycling Brent Hildebrand played along.
Yeah, this is densified styrofoam.
This can be used for something else?
Yeah, this can go into stuff like picture frames or other toys, so there's plenty of uses for it.
The stuff that you get your takeout food in, that can be recycled here too. But Hildebrand says they usually can't reuse it because of food residue.
How much residue is too much residue? Do you have to scrub?
Yeah, what I tell people is don't use a ton of natural resources like water to get it perfect, but we can't have, noodles from a Chinese takeout sticking to the sides.
The recycling plant isn't taking a side on the bill that would ban styrofoam takeout containers, but Hildebrand says it couldn't hurt.
We recognize that probably more people don't recycle it than do, so it's better for the environment to get that material out of the system.
And either way, hopefully you've learned pancakes are not recyclable, and at least in Denver, styrofoam without your leftovers is.
That was Katie Eastman reporting. If this bill passes, ban wouldn't begin until 2024. One last note from the state capitol today. The bill to fund full-day kindergarten statewide passed the Senate. It's already gone through the House. Full-day K was one of Governor Polis's main campaign promises, so you can bet that he's going to sign that into law. The Denver Elections Office says it has heard from a few of you still waiting on ballots. You should definitely have yours by now. You do still have time to request that one be mailed to you. The deadline for such a request is Monday. You can email the Elections Office at that email there on your screen or call 311 and press 8. You can also stop by the Elections Office on 14th Avenue to pick up a ballot. After Monday, your only option to vote if you don't have your mail-in ballot is to stop by a voting center and vote in person. Quiz time. What's bigger than a football field, smells like urine, and is officially on the market? It's the Greyhound bus station in downtown Denver. Our Lori Lizarraga found the Downtown Denver Partnership more than happy to see that bus station hit the road.
It's a little scary because the thing that scares people the most is when they don't see anybody else around in the middle of a busy place. And you look at these blank walls and you look at this ramp. Would you feel safe at any time of day walking through there by yourself?
It's a fair question. Lucky for me, I'm not alone. I'm with John Desmond.
When you look at this area, right, there is nothing going on here. The only time the thing's going on here is gigantic buses pull in.
We're at the Greyhound bus station in downtown Denver.
Why would you want to come here?
And today, John is telling us how he really feels. Because as of this week, the Greyhound bus station is officially for sale.
I think it's been something we've been waiting for a long time.
And John and the Downtown Denver Partnership are excited.
Where you can put a good amount of open space, you can landscape it, you can put in a variety of buildings.
He just sees so much potential for this huge space.
We don't know who's going to buy it.
Not yet. But Jones Lang LaSalle is the brokerage firm in charge of the sale. They say they've already received substantial local and national interest.
It's 400 feet long by 266 feet wide. That's a typical downtown block, right? That's more than a football field.
At 2.5 acres, there's literally 100,000 square feet of potential here.
Everything's possible on this block because it's so large and it's so well located in the center of downtown.
And if you, like John, are eager to see a change in downtown Denver,
it's just not an inviting place. And
it's only a matter of time.
Challenge.
Hang in there, John.
Like this is that it was designed to accommodate buses coming in and out.
That was Lori Lizarraga. So leading up to the sale, Greyhound considered moving its operations to Union Station, pricey, or using some space near Mile High, Pricey. They don't know where they're going to end up. Greyhound's going to continue to operate from the old bus station while it looks for a new location. That's expected to happen by the end of 2020. Hey, before we step away, big-time draft news for the Broncos within the last 10 minutes. In round 2 of the NFL draft, the Broncos moved around to grab Dalton Risner. He is the hugely talented offensive lineman who grew up just down the road in Wiggins, Colorado, so he's coming home. And they also got Drew Lock, quarterback out of Missouri. Hi, Joe Flacco. Welcome to Denver. Is the G-line working today? I would hope so. It's the first day after all those years of waiting. The Avalanche get ready for round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We don't like to call them bandwagon fans. Let's say recent hockey aficionados. We'll get you up to speed. And our favorite every Friday is your good news.
My good news is we're having bison babies.
That's next. Tonight, we debut a new segment called Presented Without Comment. Today, the state legislature was debating a bill to spend money to encourage participation in the census. And that is when Republican Senator Paul Lundeen of El Paso County got up to note that God hates the census.
God warns the people against a census. He is acknowledging the fact that he is God, he is sovereign, and that a king over them, counting them, knowing them, controlling them, would disrupt that fundamental connection.
I can't talk about his jacket either? Okay, all right. Against the rules, apparently. This is presented without comment. Round 2 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Avs, San Jose Sharks in California tonight. Game time is 8 p.m. our time. Maybe you're new to this game. Nothing wrong with that. Avs themselves acknowledged that they are gaining some bandwagon fans, and no shame in that game. So if I may make a recommendation, would point you toward their Twitter thread. It's a bit of a learning annex for recent hockey aficionados. They try to bring everybody up to speed so that you can carry on a conversation at work or wherever about the great Colorado Avalanche. You'll learn about the top players and fan favorites, little quirky things about them as well as stats and such. Who knows, by the end of it, you might not even sound like a bandwagon fan anymore. Not that there's any.
Let's not forget about our Red Hawk Colorado Rockies. They are taking the field in Atlanta tonight, already playing, and hoping for another win there as well. Colorado sports teams, amazing recently. The weather is getting interesting as well. We started off mostly sunny. Some of you saw temperatures close to 80, and now it's snowing up at the Continental Divide for those getting a jump on the weekend and heading up into the mountains. In Denver, that high of 75 is a good 10 degrees above average, and we're watching waves of thunderstorms come across from the northwest as a weather system crosses the state. Later tonight, we're going to see a cool front come in, and that'll stabilize things. No severe weather as of yet, but a lot of wind, lightning, and heavy rain. These storms are racing east at about 45 miles per hour. Tomorrow will be a calmer day, a mostly sunny day, and not looking at it and really much in the way of precipitation. That all changes, though, as we move into Sunday afternoon. 46 with partly cloudy skies tonight, an isolated storm, then clearing. 70s for the weekend, 30% chance of storms Sunday afternoon. Rain and snow, colder weather to kick off the new week. Mid-40s on Monday, upper 40s Tuesday. We clear out on Wednesday, and then we get back to 70 the middle of next week. But right now, the weekend looks great. It looks like Saturday will be your pick day for outdoor activities.
The Ghost Train is now a real ride. Just a little more than 2 years late. Don't worry about it. Get on board.
I just finished part 1 of my board exams for medical school.
That's her good news this Friday. What's yours? Next. Is the G-line working today? You know how long I have waited to ask that question? We've been sitting on this graphic for years, but yes, it is working today. G-line had its launch party this morning. Passengers boarded for that first ride from Union Station up through Arvada to Wheat Ridge. Rides will be free for the first 2 weeks. RTD's hope is that we'll forget how long it took them to get the train open. After that, it's a $3 ride. You should go up. I mean, if you haven't visited Old Town, or if you're one of those people, get up there. It's fantastic. Of course, this is supposed to happen in October of 2016. You have businesses there in Arvada. I mean, they planned on that. I mean, they signed leases. They were ready for this to happen years ago. We caught back up with some business owners who appear to have a sense of humor about it all.
I think everyone's excited now. A lot of businesses have different deals going on. We are having the tangerine G-lime cocktail, and that is a Hanger 1 lime with some tangerine, some lime, and a radish simple syrup.
It's the gold line, so we dyed it gold, and it's a cake batter, so it's like celebratory. It's chocolate sprinkles, chocolate Pop Rocks, brownies, cake batter, ice cream. G-line cream, yeah.
Klein's is known for beer. Beer hall, we do hand-cranked sausages.
All right, there's the brat.
We're super excited. We want to get people really pumped to come up from downtown. The G-line sausage sliders, so it's going to be a trio of sliders. We decided, pretzel bun, sausage, you get 3 of them. You get to try some of our hand-cranked sausages and just get those out there.
This cocktail will be on our menu for a while.
16 3-gallon buckets of ice cream. We're all delighted for sure to see it, and we think it's going to do great.
So get on up to Arvada and Wheat Ridge, say hi. They could use the company. And we could use some of your good news. We could have used it earlier this week, let me tell you. We'll do that next. I've been looking forward to your good news all week, and we found it today in Jefferson County, up at Genesee Park.
You know what my good news is? I'm up here to see the buffalo today.
My good news is that I just finished part 1 of my board exams for medical school, and I was able to come out to Denver to visit my best friend.
We're up here in Genesee Mountain Park, and my good news is we're having bison babies.
My good news is that out here at Genesee Park, we have 8 new bison babies already.
I'm personally a person that was diagnosed as morbidly obese. I'm no longer morbidly obese. I've lost over 100 pounds here.
My good news is my best pal came to visit me.
You know what my good news is not only am I enjoying myself, I'm really seeing a lot of other people around. And they're doing the same thing that I'm doing, which is what we all should be doing, which take a look around. It's so beautiful here. It doesn't cost anything but a couple of footsteps. And it's really a good fountain of youth here in Colorado.
I haven't been outside in about 3 months, and I wanted to visit a beautiful city, and I feel like Denver is it.
Doesn't cost anything but a couple of footsteps. I love that line. I'm probably going to steal it. So many of you wrote in about our new segment, Presented Without Comment, including Ron and Devin. There's Heidi who wrote, Kyle, please comment. No, that would be against the ethos of the segment, Heidi. Izzy says, you couldn't say anything, but his, State Senator Paul Lundine's comment truly left me speechless. Stephen Goldstein says the remark was just priceless. So is the look on your face. What look?